Hey, friends, I'm Lesa McDermott, co host of the Girl Camper podcast. The holidays are quickly approaching, and on today's episode, I'm visiting with our own Bonnie Schafto, who is no stranger to having people in her house. We are going to be giving you some tips on how you can be a good hostess to guests in your home, and in the alternative, how you can be a good guest in someone else's house. So, whether you're staying home or traveling this season, this podcast is for you. Hey, welcome everyone to today's episode of the Girl Camper podcast. I'm Lesa McDermott, the co-host, and I am so excited to have as my guest today, Bonnie Schafto. Bonnie is the Girl Camper New Mexico guide and our event manager, and she is also the hostess with the Mostest. And I wanted to do this podcast because a few years ago, Bonnie hosted all of the guides from Girl Camper at our house, and she just went out of her way of being a great hostess. And I just has got me thinking, what does that mean? What are things that people can do to be a good hostess, especially with the holidays right around the corner? We're going to have, house guests with us. So, what's it mean to be a good hostess? What does it mean to be a good guest? So, stay tuned with me. First, we're going to take a quick break for our first sponsor of today's podcast. We'll be right back with Bonnie.
What does it mean to camp like a girl?
It means charting your own course.
It means following your passions
It means building your circle.
Sharing experiences.
and making memories that will last a lifetime.
It means conquering obstacles.
Finding your freedom.
And learning that so much more is out there for you to discover.
So what does it mean to camp like a girl? Well, that's for you to decide.
Because behind every great trip plan is a woman. Start your adventure today at GoRVing.com.
All right, hey Bonnie, let's dive right in. Tell us.
Well, first of all, welcome and thank you for the big compliment.
But Bonnie, I think back of when you hosted all of our us guides at your house, and
Mhm.
you made it was just nice. It was so nice. We felt so welcome, and you really went out of your way to be a great hostess. So, what are some tips that you can give to our listeners and viewers today if they're going to be having some house guests over the holidays?
Be prepared. I love hostessing. I've done it for years in my family. We lived in Vermont. Now we're in Taos, New Mexico, and we always have people coming. I think just being together, just being like, I am ready for the game show. And little things, making sure there is like a bathrobe on the door knot on the back of the door hanging, and there's towels for them. Having extra supplies, either it be drinks or toiletry items that somebody forgot. And just, I made sure when people came in to hug them, welcome them, and oh, let me show you my home. Let me show you my well-stocked freezer out here in the garage and the refrigerator where all your wine and beer and drinks are. Please help yourself. And I think that's to take pressure off yourself. Please help yourself. Because you get tired of waiting on people hand and foot. And I just, yeah, have appetizers planned, have a backup plan for things. And also I pre-make a lot of things. I think I did it with you guys. I had
Mm.
2 different soups made that I just threw in the crock pot. Breakfast casserole. We had the French toast casserole, which was, like, awesome.
Oh, so good. We
Yeah.
should put that recipe, I think, in the show notes. That was a
Yes, we
great
should.
recipe.
We should. I actually yeah. And just having a plan, in your head that, this might be a good night to eat out. This might be a good night, "Oh, we're gonna be busy. Let's have pizza." Or, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna have this already in the crock pot ready," and also having different snacks. And I think I
Mm.
also introduced everybody to my pantry, like just please go and take. Oh, here's the coffee pot. There's the filters. Like, you need a cup of tea, you need whatever coffee. Please help yourself. Um, and yeah, having a game table and things ready or puzzles, that type of thing. Also, what we were doing, I think we did like a hike or two and, just whatever's in the area to go and do something, see something, a museum, just points of interest. I think it's great to just get outside and do things together.
You were
Um,
very good about that. You did, tell us what was in the Taos area and to take us on a tour, and we did get to go on a hike, or a lot of them did. I didn't. I had to take someone to the ER because it came down with
oh, that's right.
altitude sickness, but you also pointed out where the hospital was.
Yes, yes, and I think too, because when people do come to visit, that is sort of a problem at 7,000 feet, that I do have oxygen can, but this wasn't enough for a particular person, and she did need to go to the ER, and this happened to my mother-in-law too. We needed more oxygen, so things happen.
Things happen.
Things happen. Be prepared.
Yeah, yeah. But it was nice that you had made it very clear to us that there were a lot of things to do and what was available. I think also what was really nice is we knew what your schedule was. We knew
Mhm.
what was planned for when. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I sort of knew that everybody was coming in, and there was a great little restaurant that then was there was an old historic mission church. So let's go over to the church, and oh, here's a little shopping over here. Down the plaza, there's shopping. Just made it that we were getting outside because we were doing a lot of meetings that we would have breaks and let's go for a walk. I have BLM land down the road, so let's go for a little hike and that kind of thing. And just, yeah, a light plan. I mean, plans can be changed, but just to have a little bit of a schedule, I think helps. We do that at Christmas, like we're going to go, snowshoeing this day, or hey, this looks like it's going to be a good day to go do snowmobiling, anything like that, or skiing. Yeah, that these are options, and you're here and let's do it. This is your vacation too. Um, Also, no, I forget what I was going to say. Oh, giving guests jobs, I think, is really important too, because people want to help generally. Like, hey, you're in charge of emptying the dishwasher. Hey, I need the garbage taken out. Before Christmas dinner. Hey, you are in charge of like filling water glasses and making sure there's butter on the table. Or hey, you want to be in charge of making the rolls. I think little things like that, it helps relieve the hostess, and it also helps people feel more comfortable that they know what their job is. Um, that's something too.
That's a great point, and I think you're right. I mean, that's part of being a good guest is wanting to be helpful in those ways, and some people just don't know whether or not what they can do or if they're gonna be in the way, and I think that's a good one. Assign them
Yeah.
some jobs, and then it takes the stress off too from the hostess because, um, we haven't really we talked a little bit about food, and I love the idea where you talked about the soups and the make ahead meals. That makes things so much easier too if you're a hostess. And
Yeah.
soup's wonderful, to have in the winter, and they're
Mhm.
so easy. Warm them up in a crock pot, or the French toast meal breakfast was all done in a crock pot. Those things are easy and people can help with those, and that really takes a lot of the stress off of, you being a hostess. One of the
Yeah.
things that you did that was really nice too is you checked with people, did anybody have some allergies, food restriction,
Mhm.
dietary things, and that was nice, and I think that's something that, sometimes we may not think about, but could be very serious,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and, my husband's side of the family, well, my side even has, uh, gluten issues, and then my husband's side, there was vegetarian, so I'm used to sort of mixing it all up, but I am very careful of, not using milk or being almond milk and dairy-free stuff or having the cheese on the side, that kind of thing, and you can actually find dairy-free cheese, if you have somebody you're putting together a lasagna. it's not impossible. You might just have to find special ingredients and do it, So, or if they are vegetarians, to do it a meat sauce, do, spinach and do, something else, do it a veggie pizza. So,
Mhm.
not pizza, lasagna. It's just being flexible and a little creative and planning. Like I plan weeks ahead that, this Sunday I am going to throw together this, lasagna or whatever it is. I'm going to make this soup ahead of time and freeze it and I'll have it. So it's just, a little planning and it really is a lot of stress when the company is here.
Yeah. And there's easy things that you can do at breakfast too, besides making, like we had talked about, the French toast casserole. You can have like a variety of cereals or
Mhm.
yogurts and fruits and breads, stuff like that. Super simple. You just set them out and, people can take what they like.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Yogurt bar is great. Just a couple of different fruits and granola and different yogurts and you're all set.
Hmm. And show people how to use the coffee pot.
Yes.
So when the coffee's gone, make your own. Make your own.
Yes. Hands on together.
Yeah. What are some things I know you'd mentioned, like in the guest room, to make sure that they had fresh linens and towels and extra blankets and pillows and stuff? Um, I imagine kind of doing some extra things too along the way, like making sure that they maybe have some storage space for their stuff. We
Mhm.
just came from a bed and breakfast that didn't have anywhere except the floor to to put our suitcases or clothes on, and that was kind of a little
Yeah.
disconcerting. So, I think if you can
Over
make
the door hooks. I mean, just leave
oh,
a couple
yeah.
hangers there over the door or just, push everything aside in the closet and add a couple extra hangers. I mean, goes a long way. I have one guest room where I always keep an a empty drawer in the dresser. So that's available. And I put benches. Like if you have a bench or something like that, a little step stool, just put that in the back, put that in the bedroom to put their luggage on. It's a little bit, it's not on the floor, it's a little up off the ground without buying a fancy, luggage rack.
Mhm.
Just having that extra space. And maybe you move things around a little bit too. Like this room is really crowded, but hey, I can move my sewing machine out and make it a little roomier. Also using your trailer.
Oh,
Um,
you
I
camper.
think,
That's
yes, the camper. Yep. I
mhm.
think Janine stayed in my trailer in the front yard. So, and I have had at Christmas my brother in law out in the trailer, which I'm pretty sure he really enjoyed being away from the in laws, his own little space. Yeah. So, yeah, think you got to think out of the box sometimes.
The campers are a wonderful, a guest room. That's how we really use our Keystone, Montana fifth wheel is always as a guest house, and it does give our company their own area. Even in the winter, we use it. Now, granted, we don't have any running water to it, but a few gallons of water in there that they still are able to use the toilet facilities. They just pour the water down then if they need to, or they certainly have
Yeah.
it for drinking water and heat's on, television works. So the camper
Hmm.
is just a nice alternative that people may not
Yeah.
think about using it. Just because it's winterized doesn't mean someone can't still sleep in it.
Exactly. Because you can put a pail in the sink and then have water, like a little water jug with the tap, and you can still wash your face. You can heat water on the propane stove.
Hmm.
You got a fridge, like, that's easy to turn on, and they have their own refrigerator with their snacks. So, yeah, it's not impossible. It's very I think it can work. It can work. Yeah. Not perfect, ideal situation, but hey, for somebody to have their own little space, I think it's worth it.
It does. It means a lot.
Mhm.
Now, do you ever create like a little welcome basket for your guests?
I do. At our farmer's market, there's always little sage, wreaths with chili peppers in them, that kind of thing. I'll buy that, like leave it on the bed or just anything special, just, some chocolates or whatnot. You can put, it's very dry here. So sometimes I'll put nasal spray and some candy. I know it, make sure there's a tissue box because yeah, that it nosebleed, happen too from people coming from, lower elevations. So, yeah, just anything that you think they might need.
Those are great ideas. And one thing I know, like when we have company come, I always make sure I have a note somewhere prominently displayed wherever they're staying of what our Wi-Fi password is.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. That
yep.
too. That too. Yeah. And I always make sure to, I have special plugs. I have a little strip, but it has where you could put your phone in, has a USB port. And there's a couple of things that if they need to,
Yes.
they can easily find, you know, where to plug in their phone, where to charge their computer, that they're not dragging it out in my living room. And I think too, I mean, that being a guest is, well, we'll come back to that, but
Yeah, but yeah, that's a great point. I hadn't thought about that, but where you can plug into charge is a huge thing, especially if you've forgotten. Like, I mean, I'm so used to at our house, we have outlets that have the USB-C or just the USB-A, um, plug right into it, built into it. So now I start to forget to actually bring the adapter to plug into a regular outlet. So, as a hostess to have those on hand for your guest, I think is nice to have too.
oh yeah, there's always somebody. Yeah.
Yeah. And then showing them how to use the TV. Especially,
Yes, yes.
with streaming now, it's not like it used to be. Yeah, how do you turn your TV on and find what channels that you
Yeah,
actually
I
want?
try to leave the remote controls right there, and I have a little, like, this is the volume, this is here to get to Netflix, like, push this, and I always make sure that is prominent, and the Wi-Fi code too, yeah, so
Mhm. Yeah.
it is, yeah. And the dogs, like, I have 2 dogs, like, this is, no, don't just let them out and forget about them, because we have coyotes and, we're out in the country, so there are rules around the dogs. There's I have little ones, and they need to be escorted outside.
Mhm. That's a good point. Yeah. Do you have any house rules, that need to be communicated to your guests? Like, hey, the baby has to sleep between 2 and 4. So please don't slam any doors or things like that. I think are important as a hostess to make sure your guests, know about so that they don't irritate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just planning and communicate, I think is super important.
Yeah.
And, one of the things that you do so well is you create a really warm atmosphere for people. You always make your guests feel so welcome in your house. And it's just you really do. And from the minute they arrive, you do that. And I think that's really important. And you engage in great conversations with your guests too. Both you
Well
and your
well,
husband.
thank you. I don't know how I do it, but it happens.
Luckily, most of the time, we know the guests that are coming to our homes and are welcome.
Exactly, exactly, but yeah, how was your drive? What did you see? What do you wanna do this week? Like, yeah, there's so
Yeah.
many, yeah.
But then
If
there's
it's somebody you don't know, a guest of a guest, yeah.
right, like a new your son may bring home a new girlfriend that you've never met
Mhm.
for the first time.
Yeah.
And wow, what for everybody involved, just how that could be a little bit stressful, especially for the new person going,
Mhm.
they're kind of,
Yeah.
am I going into the lion's den?
N Oh, no, we one year had at Christmas, when my son was in college, he had think they were working on their masters, and they were a couple, and they were from Brazil, and we called that the Brazilian Christmas, wait for refer back to it. So here was a couple that spoke broken English. They came for Christmas, and he invited them, and, we had a great time, but I also offered up to them, what is your meal you wanna make? And
Oh,
I had the wife, she wanted to make breakfast, and we had Brazilian breakfast, and, that just helped. It took a little bit off me, but then they got to share some of their family and their history and culture with us
oh, how
and
fun.
what they do at Christmas, so that was fun.
That is really fun. And, I think a really good icebreaker when you've got someone new coming into your home, and you mentioned it a little bit before, was play some games. You know,
Mhm.
play some. The games are a great way to get to know each other. And one that I think is really fun at the holidays that I was introduced to last Thanksgiving was the Hallmark bingo.
Oh.
You can go online and you can either you can purchase these Hallmark. They're literally called Hallmark bingo cards, or I think Hallmark has some free ones, and they're bingo cards with you have to watch a Hallmark movie, and it has things in there like someone wore a sweater with leather patches on the elbows, or someone said this. It's all the formulas that you see in a Hallmark movie, and when you see that, you mark it off on your bingo card, and it was just fun. And
Oh,
'cause
that is fun.
who doesn't love a good Hallmark movie?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, exactly, exactly. We've even done, Lord of the Rings and, like, for whatever, I forget how many movies there are, but, like, those 5 nights in a row, we'll watch one. Like, that's our TV togetherness is like that one movie, and we'll just watch one each night, so at a certain time and
Oh, that's a
get the
great idea.
popcorn and all that.
Yeah, you could, Lord of the Rings, great option. You could
Mhm.
do it
Star
too.
Wars. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, or pick, yeah, Star Wars. You could pick out even just all the different holiday movies. Holiday movies, yeah. Elf.
Yeah, it was one year everybody was like, "Do we have to watch One Wonderful Life one more time? Really?" Like, okay.
At my house, you can expect to watch A Christmas Story
Mhm.
probably
Yeah,
multiple times too.
times. Yes, but I do think games are great, puzzles to just as somebody, yeah, just sit down and work for 10 minutes and, have a conversation and, yeah, something to come back to. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Definitely.
card games too. Like Garbage is my new game. So yeah, that's sort of easy to play. Anybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the garbage card game, that is
That's
fun, and we'll have to put that in our show notes too, and how to play
Mhm.
garbage 'cause,
Yeah.
yeah,
Don't ask me.
we played
It's
quite a
probably
bit.
somewhere out there, a version of.
It's easy.
Yeah, it is. It is easy.
Well, this is great. These are some great tips as a hostess. We're gonna take another quick break here to thank our next show sponsor, and we're gonna come back and talk about what it means to be a good guest. So we'll be right back.
Hey, RVers! Any way you explore, explore protected. With Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. They make it easy to quote, and the process takes as little as 4 minutes. Get a quote now. Insure your passion.
All right. Thank you to both of today's show sponsors. We could not be doing the Girl Camper podcast without you. We really appreciate you. So, Bonnie, we talked about what it means to be a good hostess. Let's talk about what it means to be a good guest and why this one is important to me. Get back to the guide retreat. You, being the hostess with the mostest, had
Mhm.
asked everybody, what were some, you not only asked about dietary restrictions people had, but I think you asked, did anybody have any special requests? That is super nice as a hostess.
I think
However,
it was drinks. It was like soda. I wanted to make sure everybody's favorite sodas or whatever they were available. But yeah, it was a it was a particular seltzer and it had to be this flavor or that flavor. And wouldn't
I,
you know, my
I
supermarket
I
had
think
me.
we need to explain those
Yes.
that you had asked. And while the hostess may have asked, doesn't mean you necessarily have to respond.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you had a guest or two that did respond and
Yeah.
kind of sent you on quite the shopping hunt for some very specific and not inexpensive items that kudos to you for actually going and doing that. But that's not, to me, that was not cool as a guest. If
No.
you want lingonberry jam from Sweden, bring your
Mhm.
own.
Exactly. And then didn't even touch the stuff that I had bought. So
Yeah,
it's like, oh well.
right.
You can take this with. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
you've
it
gotten some very specific stuff. Yeah, like you were saying, some very specific seltzers. I think there was some coffee and pastry. It was over the top.
it was over the top. And yeah, that not kosher. So yeah, I think being a guest and if, you know, the hostess doesn't have exactly what you want, get yourself in the car and go pick it up. I mean, you're not going to hurt
Yes.
my feelings. You go purchase it. You go try and find it. Yeah, yeah, it, yeah. And, I have relatives that came out and their kids only ate red beans and rice. And I didn't have red beans and rice because I had been on a gluten-free diet. But you know what? They just went to the store, got it, and they came back and they made their dinner for their kids. And that was cool. I didn't have to be involved in it. So, and they knew exactly how their children wanted their red beans and rice. So, that's fine too. And I think, you just and telling people like we're coming on this day, we're leaving on this particular day, like, and that is helpful. Don't change it, don't extend it. Like not unless I'm begging you to stay. Uh, you know, and also, bring a little something, bring a bottle of wine, bring, an hors d'oeuvre. I think being a guest and thinking of thoughtful things to bring, especially when you have a lot of company, is helpful.
Right. A nice, thoughtful gift, I think goes a long way, and it really makes the hostess feel appreciated, you know?
Mhm.
And if you
Yeah,
can think
the
about like what the hostess's tastes are,
Mhm.
like if you're gonna come visit me, I'd love a set of Legos. If I'm gonna go visit Bonnie, I'm probably gonna bring her a basket of something.
Yes, basket. Basket is like a perfect thing,
Or
or
your
a
favorite bourbon.
a wine. Yes, my favorite bourbon, whatever it is. But yeah, sometimes getting little gifty things is, like lotion is good stuff. The hostess is going to go through. But I'm in a point in my life where, I want to downsize and I don't need any more little Chotsky stuff. So anyway,
Exactly.
that's my thoughts on
Same.
that.
Yeah. I don't need any more mugs that have camping stuff on them or
Yes,
dish
exactly.
towels. I
Or
don't.
birdhouse.
Yeah. Or birdhouses. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And I think, yeah, being mindful of what the hostess is planning. Like, I'm like, oh, dinner's gonna be at 6, yada yada. Like, don't show up at 7 and and not call or that kind of thing. Yeah. Like, I don't mind extending it, but it's nice to know
Yeah.
exactly when you expect your guests there. You
Uh,
want to be ready with the appetizer, whatever it is. Yeah.
Communicate clearly, especially those scheduled. I like to, when I'm coming to somebody's house, I will literally like share my location on my phone.
Okay.
And you can do that and set it for like an hour or 2 hours or however when you turn it off so that they can see, yeah, I'm still 2 hours away or I'm 10 minutes away. And
Mhm.
yeah, it really helps. And I try really hard to get there right on time, if not a little bit early, but you don't want to show up too early. I used to have
Yeah.
these big Christmas parties, and invariably, I would have someone show up, like, an hour beforehand, and I'm still running around, like, in my underwear.
A crazy person. Yeah. That's why you put them to work. Here. I'll be back. Make the appetizers. Bye. Yeah, I have to go freshen up. No, and I think too, just doing those little things. If the hostess asks you to do something, like, gosh, follow through, and when you leave, make sure you're taking all your stuff, go through and strip the bed or the towels. Like I was brought up that yes, you take your dirt towels, and if you want to throw them in the laundry and start it for me, like, hey, you will be welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, I think it's just those little things like that. And also leaving your clutter around.
Oh,
Like leaving a camera out or leaving your phone out on the counter. Like try and keep it out of, the area the hostess is either trying to serve from or,
mhm.
I know when my kids are here, there's like computers over every little end table and they take over the coffee table. I didn't train them well enough, I guess. But, yeah, or leaving things plugged in. That was hard when the guides were here. I think every outlet and I had cords all over the place because, I had 15 women all wanted to charge their phones and their computers and iPads, whatever. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was a little crazy, but
it was quite a bit. Yeah. And I think,
that was fun.
getting back onto the clutter, make your bed. Make your bed.
Yeah.
Even if you aren't a bed maker at your own house, every day when
Hmm.
you get up, if you're not in your own house, respect your hostess's house and Make your bed every day. Just show that respect to them. I think will go a long way too, and that helps with the clutter,
Yeah.
you know?
Or even, like I always keep paper towels or, like the Lysol wipes underneath the sink. Like just look for that and like wipe down the counter,
Oh, yeah.
occasionally. Cause when you have multiple people, that's one thing besides, passing on colds and sniffles is just having a clean countertop for the next person, I think is also wonderful.
Yeah. And maybe not leave your toiletries spread all out. You're not at a
Mhm.
hotel, where you're going to be the only one using that bathroom. There may be other people that need to use that bathroom too. That may be the guest bath. So
Mhm.
pack your toiletries back up, take them back to your room where your nice bed is made.
Yes, yes, yeah, and that's why I have hooks, like, I do door hooks over the door, so, yeah, they can put their bathrobe, they can put their towel, their wet towel, because some people are always worried that somebody might touch their towel or use it, so, hey, bring it to your room and dry it there, so, yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's a
but
good one. And you
mhm,
touched on it, yeah, knowing the schedule, especially if you are visiting and you have I know when we go back home to see my in-laws, my husband likes to go see his friends. Well, it's important for us to make sure that my mother-in-law knows when we will be back. And if she has something planned, what time is
mm,
dinner? We will be back for that. We're not going to just blow that off. So,
yeah,
yeah, be respectful
exactly,
of that.
yeah,
Share
I
your
have
and if you're gonna go
yeah,
do something fun that your hostess may wanna go to, invite them.
exactly, yeah,
Feel like
I
could
have that
never come see you guys and not say, "Hey, does we're gonna go skiing, bye." No,
yeah.
I'd wanna make sure does John wanna go skiing too? Because he probably will.
He probably oh, yeah, you know it. Yeah, I have that when I go to New Jersey and we're staying with family, like, we might be going to see my family, and it's like, I always let my mother-in-law know, like, "We will be back at this time," because I know she knows she wants to cook dinner and be prepared, yeah, so I think, yeah, that's always wise.
Yeah, yep. And then respect the house rules. Again,
Mhm,
your noise level, smoking, probably no
mhm,
smoking in the house. Not that we want
mhm,
really smoking. If you brought your pets with them, and we travel with our dogs and sometimes our dogs and cats, um,
mhm.
to make sure that they aren't doing naughty things that they shouldn't be. And if they do, boy, make sure they take care of it.
Yes, yes, I have a grand dog I love, but he is a Aussie, um, a cattle dog, and he loves to herd my little Shih Tzus, and sometimes he's a little exuberant because he's still only 2 years old. But, yeah, I have to occasionally tell my son, like, "Can you take him out and just run him up and down the driveway? Like, just do something," because they do leave after, like, a week. Kyle, don't watch this. Um, we are like, Lando's gone. We love him, but he's gone. So, yeah. So
Yeah. And I think too, like if you when you're in somebody's house and you want to I'm gonna go back to the coffee maker. It took me forever how to learn how to use a Keurig, and I'm still not sure I know how to use all the Keurigs out there. But if you don't know, if you want to use something and you don't know how, or even the water on an ice machine on a refrigerator,
mhm.
I go to my friend Una's house, and I've been going there for years, and I still put my glass up in the wrong place and the water shoots all over the floor. Luckily, I know where the towels are to clean that up. But, ask your hostess. How do you use something before you actually use it if you're unsure about it?
Oh, yeah, been in the shower too, like, sometimes people have
Oh,
problems
thank
turning on showers or
Yeah,
yeah, coffee maker, water, yeah, ice maker, yes, yeah,
good point. Yep. Where's the hot and cold? How does that
yeah,
work? That's a really
mhm,
good point. Or even with
yeah, just ask. Yeah, just ask.
just to ask. And temperature in rooms. Like you may have a separate thermometer or thermostat, for the bedroom that you're in, and versus the house. Is there? Yeah. So you don't want to be. What was the one movie? Oh, the Christmas movie, and they're all together at a lodge, and the stepdaughter keeps going out and adjusting the
Oh,
the
yeah,
temperature, and everybody can't figure out why it's I think it was blazing hot or something. It was
yeah,
a funny movie
yeah,
though.
Gonna have us on our beach vacation because I'm like turning down the air, and next thing I know, it's like baguette. Can we all agree that we're just gonna leave this at 72, please? Yes, and making a fire. I think that happened on the guide retreat. Sharon, bless her heart, she wanted to start a fire and she forgot to open the flue, and my whole living room filled up with smoke. And I had to reach in and open that up with the flames and everything. So, yeah, like just if somebody says they're going to go do something, and just hopefully in the back of your mind, you're going, the flu or whatever it is, just like make sure that little thing is done before, yeah, they set fire.
Mhm. Yeah. We touched on too, help out where you can. That is so important, offer to assist with meal prep, setting table, cleaning up. Cleaning up's a big thing. You know,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, hey Bonnie, you sit. Let me clear the table. Let me do the dishes. No, Bonnie, you
Mhm.
can't help me. I'm going to do this now as your guest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. And my husband usually is like Mr. Cleanup. So, yeah, if I'm like, go help John. John will need help.
Yeah. Or if you notice something that needs to be done,
Do it.
if the trash needs to be taken out, just do it. Just
Yeah.
take care of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it when people come in and go, "What can I do?" And yeah, it's like you got to stop and think. But if you know, you can just come in, assess the situation, go, "Hey, her table isn't set," or "Hey, it looks like she's making dressing. She might need this chopped up or whatever." Just to go grab the celery, like just hop in there. I think and just jump in. I think is also helpful too. Like, don't be afraid to just jump in.
Exactly. Especially, like, if the hostess realizes that she's missing something. "Hey, I'll go get it. Where's the nearest store?"
Yeah.
You know, go yeah, jump out and do that. And that kinda gets along too, um, respect your hostesses that they might need a little downtime and a little privacy.
Hmm.
So, bring a good book with you and
Yeah.
maybe just take a little time off, but not too much. I can say when my brother comes to visit, um, I may not see him all day.
Yeah.
Till there. It'd be kinda nice to see my brother during the
Yeah.
holidays or at any time when he
Yeah.
visits. So, there's boundaries with that.
And sometimes I do that. I'll make a fire outside. I'll be like, everybody take your cocktail outside and sit by the fire. And then I'll like stay inside you know, for a little bit.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think really importantly, as a guest, definitely show your gratitude to your hostess. Make sure
Mhm.
you verbally are thanking them. Send them send them a written note afterwards, not an email. Send an actual note card. I think
Mhm.
we've gotten away from that, but um my good friend Melanie, man, she is just so good at that. And I need to take lessons from her that just means so much every time I get her card saying thank you for the littlest things. And that's really special. I think that's
It is because people don't do thank you cards anymore, or some do. But yeah, in general, I think that is something that we should definitely have in our society and not
yeah.
forget about.
Yeah. It's I think our digital age, we've gotten away from that. And it's important that we remember to do that because it doesn't take much time and we should just do it. So yeah.
Good.
And then, another big thing too is um, invite your host to come visit you in the future if that
Hmm.
is something that's appropriate. Like
Yes.
I Bonnie has an open invitation to always come visit me up in the Black Hills, and
Yeah.
I know that I have the same down in where she is in Taos.
You do. You do.
And that's nice. That's nice to
Yeah.
always know that that's there. So
You will see us soon, sometime. So keeps like, "Oh, and we have to go to Fester," and I'm like, "Yes, we do, and I know where we're staying."
absolutely.
But
Can you think of anything else any other good tips you can think for whether you're a hostess or a guest that any final words of wisdom?
oh, I did a lot. Just have a smile on your face, and also conversation goes both ways. Just remember that. If you, yeah, to yeah, just be helpful and be joyful. and enjoy it. Yeah, because it can be stress. Holidays are stressful, right? So yeah.
Holidays are stressful. Definitely. Yeah. Bonnie, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for being on today. I think this has been great. It's going to be I think, a great guidance for people who are either going to be having house guests over the holidays, or if they are going to be a house guest to someone. These are some good tips and tricks and advice that you've given them. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been fun being on again.
That's our show for today. Thanks for watching or listening if you're podcasting. And if you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to tap that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any episodes. Connect with Girl Camper through our website, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget to sign up for our magazine and be sure to check out all of the events our Girl Camper guides have lined up and join us in the fun. Until next week, I'm Lesa McDermott, and I'll catch you by the campfire.